Take Action podcast here at the Monty Studios. For our podcasters listening, this is our first video podcast, which you guys can go back and watch next Monday when this one comes out, because you will only be aware of it starting next Wednesday. But for the people who are actually watching on Facebook Live now, we are live. So
yeah,
what's up, everybody?
I really hope it's working at the moment. So
well, if it's not, nobody's seeing our mistake anyway. So
okay, cool. Well, we at least gave it a try.
Yeah. Hey, remember our first episode that we filmed or that we recorded that didn't record?
Yep. It was a really good episode. Our first ever season 1, episode 1, phenomenal episode. And after we done recording, it was nothing there.
Yeah, exactly. So this will probably be the same case as we, continue to evolve. We've been teasing about video now for a couple of months, and we finally just decided, you know what, let's take some action and do it. And today we'll probably be all messed up, and we'll learn from that. But either way, so we're gonna start off. Yuri, you want to give us our weather report? How was your week? Obviously, we are living in different times right now, so. This is, at least we don't have like a nuclear winter or anything going on.
No, not nuclear winter yet. Your favorite segment, guys, Green Bay Weather Update. The last few days were actually pretty phenomenal weather-wise. We finally hit those 45, 50 degrees. Yesterday was just wonderful day. It felt like it's real spring. Outdoor studio is gone now for sure. All the snow from my yard is gone. Other than that, you guys know the situation's going on here in Wisconsin, so we're just trying to stay safe. My kids are off school for indefinite period right now. It was supposed to be Violet's spring break, but now it's extended. So I'm just doing my civil duties, trying to be a good dad, trying to keep my nervous system in place at the end of the night. Because you know how it is with kids, some of them listen, some of them don't, and then the reaching time comes around after 3-4 p.m. when they just turn into wilder beasts until bedtime. I'm pretty sure Sergei can relate to that.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, so we got another phenomenal guest today, guys. This is actually somebody I know for a really, really long time. I would say, about 15 years I know Sergei, a little bit more than I know Monty, but we've been really good buds. We came from the same country. You guys know all about my story throughout all of our episodes. And today it's actually Sergei's turn to tell about his amazing story and his path on the road to take action.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about it is we've talked about, a lot of times on our show we do the Q&A, and a lot of times people have asked how we met. Well, everybody watching, this is patient zero. Sergei is the one how Yuri and I actually met. I knew Sergei before, Yuri knew Sergei before, and that's how that happens, right? So that's where we became friends that way. So so that's the exciting thing. Well, welcome, Sergei.
No, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I mean, it's kind of ironic. We've been wanting to get Sergei on for a while, and he's a doctor, so. Ironically enough, us dealing with the coronavirus, he might be able to clear a few things up, and I don't even know if you have all the answers yet. I mean, you're not specialized in immunology or anything like that, but you're a lot closer to that than most of the keyboard warriors are online. So we'll clear some of that up today. We'll have some fun, and we'll get jamming here. So why don't we talk about that? Because obviously that's top of mind for every single person on here. Coronavirus, COVID-19. What is really the situation? What should they be aware of before they come and see you at the hospital, at the ER?
Hey guys, Sergei here. So just a little bit of background. I'm an emergency medicine doctor, and I work here in the Fox Valley. One main thing that I want you guys to know is, again, just like everybody explains, do your usual precautions. Cover your cough. Wash your hands with soap, use that alphabet or whatever you want to do, count till 20 when you're washing, because that truly makes a huge difference. And try to stay home as well. From an ER perspective, one of the main things is if you have very mild or no symptoms, do not come to us. we really get overflooded a lot if everybody tries to come to us. And what actually the worst thing that can happen right now is you might actually catch the infection coronavirus in the department when you come. Majority of the departments right now are securing the outside tents or some type of isolation precautions, and you will be around other people with respiratory symptoms. Right now we see majority of the cases which are other viral infections like influenza. So again, if you're gonna come in and you have the influenza, you just expose yourself to another viral infection like COVID-19.
Yeah, for sure. So now is it, I mean, as far as like, now the big thing is social distancing, right? So doctor's perspective, I mean, in Wisconsin, this is a big deal. All the bars closed yesterday. So
Yeah.
I always thought if the bars closed, we're in big trouble. So maybe there's something to it. So social distancing, being responsible that way, you know, what's your advice there? I mean, they took away my gym, they took away my bars. What am I supposed to do now?
Well, you can still do most of it at home. I would still not recommend, you know, at this time, again, they try to recommend not to put your immune system at any risk. So minimizing alcohol is one thing that you should be doing.
Yeah.
You know, my official answer, minimize the alcohol. My unofficial one will do your routine.
Yeah.
So you probably shouldn't listen to President of Belarus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys, Yuri shared something yesterday, and Yuri, take that one, because that's so funny.
Yeah, my uncle sent me a little video of our president giving just a little fragment from his press conference, but he was clearly saying and nice and that you guys should use not only vodka to wash your hand, but you also should take it internally to eliminate the virus. So you can probably obviously tell that our president is not medical expert. That's why we have a real one in the studio today. And this is why we're actually in the United States at this point and not in Belarus anymore. One of the reasons. But yes, this is very important, guys. And even for what Sergei said, nobody realized or people forgot that it's actually when it comes in March and April, that's your regular flu season. So you might get a different flu. So if you have coughs and some symptoms, it's not necessarily the coronavirus right away, because that's isn't it traditional flu time of this year when it comes out again?
Yeah, and again, just realize what I'm saying right now might not be true in a week. This is a very fast moving target right now, and we have more cases of influenza as we do the coronavirus. What good happened is we actually aware of its existence and aware of actually that social distancing as well. So not being around other people is what potentially can help with this pandemic.
For sure. So let's, now that we've covered Corona, and I'm sure everybody's, you know, at this point when this launches on Monday, and, you know, for our Facebook Live people watching, you know, right now, this is probably something that's been beaten to a dead horse, and it sounds like
Many times.
common sense, you know, right? Just don't go into big groups, you know, even though we're here blowing on each other while we're talking, and just, you know, having our vapors from our mouths come across our microphones, but yeah, just use common sense, guys. I mean, you know, hopefully this thing passes pretty quickly. If we stay away from each other in larger groups, it should go, at least from my non-medical opinion, should go pretty quickly, hopefully. So, but let's talk about you, Sergei. I mean, obviously we've talked about your story about coming from Belarus. We talked about mine coming from Pulaski. What a huge transport I took from, you know, Pulaski to Swamico, Wisconsin, which if you guys Google map it, it's quite a journey. But Belarus, Sergei, for you, how did you decide to come to the United States? When was that decision made? Like when did you start like thinking about, you know, getting out of Belarus?
Well, that decision came pretty quickly. That was a no-brainer. However, the whole story is a little bit interesting looking back at it. I actually wanted to come here way earlier than I actually did.
So what age was that?
It was around 18, 19.
Okay.
But one of the major events that happened at that time was September 11.
Sure.
I was actually about to apply for the visa to come over here and actually potentially considering moving over here. But then seeing the skyscrapers, fall on the live TV from the other country was very, not only scary event over here, but it was just a scary time.
Right.
So it got delayed by a couple years. So I did not get here until 2003.
Yeah, because they significantly cut down
Right.
applicants for work and travel programs just for security precautions. So especially sometimes Belarus or some countries in Eastern Europe are considered not safe countries for some reason.
Right.
So yeah, it took a few years for this program
Right.
just to kick back in its place.
And then moving over here, coming to United States, not knowing anybody, not really speaking great English to begin with, and only having $600 just to start with was quite a treat.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's incredible because, we have so many people that are born here, in the United States, and they're set up for success right away. Some have harder backgrounds, obviously not everybody comes from the greatest of parents or, whatever, but, you guys have shown, the American dream coming from a different place, and that's a real thing. Like, if you're born here and you complain about it, like, go to a country, Belarus, Venezuela, someplace that has some sort of communist dictator that's running the whole show, and they literally restrict you from being who you can possibly be, and the restrictions are there. So that's huge, and that's part of the reason why we started the Take Action podcast. Is I've had it easy, even though my parents didn't have everything growing up, and we hopped from house to house, and we lived in a trailer park for a while, and those sort of things. Like, I was still able to make it, and I don't even know that I'm even made it yet, but I'm having fun, I'm happy with life, and I think that's really what it all comes down to. You guys saw the bigger picture from a long ways away. I mean, where did you get your information? Because the internet was very limited there. There's a lot of propaganda on TV back home. How did you guys know what America really was about? Like, how did you guys make that decision, in your head, to be like, we saw the Twin Towers fall, but you guys still were like, it's still a better place?
We knew people who would come and visit the United States, and some of them who stay and immigrate permanently, versus the people who come back. They still say this is the land of opportunity. But again, just like you said, at the end of the day, you still need to take action. You might be, and this is the main lesson that I learned early in my life. First, I had a really great professor for anatomy when I was back in Belarus. And she said, well, Sergei, when I was not doing too well with anatomy, she's like, I believe everybody probably tells you that you're very smart. I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, in my 20 plus years of experience, I meet young people all the time who are told that they have a great future coming up in front of them. However, the biggest difference is nobody actually works to achieve stuff. And this is where it makes a huge difference. Somehow, I actually remember those words pretty well, and that's what made the difference.
Yeah. What about you? You're on that. I mean, we've probably talked a little bit about this already, but...
It's always hard to say because everybody knows that traditional Eastern Europe and specifically Russia and United States are always at some kind of Cold War, so a lot of propaganda, a lot of facts which are not accurate. I always liked United States. It's called land of opportunity. You work hard, you can get what you want. And from my experience, I've seen people like Sergei from coming back from this work and travel program and telling all great things about it. And I decided to take action for myself. I mentioned before, guys, I had 2 full-time jobs. I worked for the first one, not rocket science, it was McDonald's.
Right.
But it was a good job for a student, kept me busy, kept me away from chasing girls and doing parties and...
No, I didn't.
Did it really?
At some extent. It
restricted it. It didn't stop it.
It restricted it. I also had a professional job. I worked for LBR Group. It's a company who did agriculture equipment and sold Belarus tractors and equipment. That's kind of equivalent of John Deere in here. I was doing oral internet marketing sales, so you can probably imagine how much a tractor costs.
Oh yeah.
But my salary was $100 a month at each place. So I just came to conclusion it was 2002, 2003 that I have 1 year of college left and I'm literally been busting my ass for the last 3 years, 2 full-time jobs and going to college full-time and half-time partying and chasing girls. You know, I had to cut some activities down. But yes, that was a kind of no-brainer for me. So when the chance came along, I applied. You actually had to do an interview, even though we didn't speak much English, but you had to prepare. You had to take interviews, speak with real Americans and explain why you want to go and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was lucky to be chosen here, and I'm actually very lucky that I was able to get my citizenship, and I'm proud to live in this country.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And I think, that's knowing you guys for, the last 10, 15 years or whatever it's been now. It's been more than 10 for sure. But like the one thing that like I have a very hard, and you know this, I have a very low tolerance for people who are here who complain about their lives and complain about the fact that there's just nothing out there for them. Like, to me, that's just them quitting. I just don't have that tolerance to be able to say, oh, it's going to be okay, buddy. You're all right. It's just, there's so many different things you can do. And and even here in the States, you guys weren't brought up the same as in the United States, but even to a level of degree in the U.S., we're taught you go to school from kindergarten until you're 18, then you go to college, then you go work for 40 years, and then hopefully you still have your body, your knees, your mind, and then you get to hang out and spend some of the fruits of your labor. And there's just more to it than that. Like what you guys had said is like, work hard. You absolutely have to work hard to get to where you go. But you guys came here with very limited English. You guys both went to college. Sergei, you became a freaking doctor with knowing hardly any English at all, learning in an English system where everything is brought out in English, and now you're an extremely talented doctor. It's incredible to see like what you guys were able to do, with a harder way to get here, with less opportunity than people who are born here, and maybe they just don't see it, and maybe that's what it is it's all around us all the time. Opportunities everywhere, and it's just people just like assume that, or maybe entitled. Maybe people think maybe entitlement's the other issue here too, where you guys never saw that because you never were brought up that way.
But also, what really makes a difference is early time investment. I mean, while you young, healthy, and have a strength to do stuff, if you put a little bit extra time, it's gonna pay off later on.
Right.
Just like majority of the people who visited and told the story, there's not a single story that all of a sudden they got lucky and everything happened to them. So my biggest thing is to say you not only have to be, it's better be lucky and good.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Lucky and good. So I got to figure out, we're getting some questions in here, so I got to figure out how to find this. But next thing that I want to talk about here is like, obviously, Sergei, you've had some pretty lofty financial goals, which is pretty cool. So one of the things that was a little bit delusional, I think, when Sergei first started going to medical school. When he got done, he told all of our friend group, which is a pretty large friend group, that we were all going to have Ferraris. He followed through on that. I'm not going to lie. We all got Ferraris, but they were Matchbox cars. So what are you got some pretty cool stuff in the pipes though? Like you just bought an indoor simulator, a golf simulator. How's that going?
Oh, it's going great. I am about to play later today as well.
Nice, yeah.
There are, you work hard, you play hard.
Yeah.
I made a goal to get all my school loans paid off very quickly. So I took a workload which is double probably for the regular ER doctor over the past 3 years, and I was able to achieve that goal. It was we had a little bit extra cash left over, and my wonderful wife said, Sergei, you dreamt about it for a really long time, why don't you get it? I said, oh, can I? And that just happened.
And you actually worked hard for it. You worked extra hours, not like you went rob the bank.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to have in your playroom. I mean, I'm having fun.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun too to watch your little guy. He's in there swinging clubs now too, and he's getting pretty good.
Yeah. He's 4 years old, and we're hoping to get some golf lessons once it warms up a little bit.
So, well, you have golf lessons. Just have them come over. They can't. The golf coaches can't do anything right now. They're all quarantined too. So, bring them over and get some private lessons in home. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So what's next for Sergei? Like, it doesn't have to be anything you're gonna buy. I mean, the golf simulator is awesome. You know, we know what you got going on. But like, as far as your career, now you've taken a different path than a lot of people, because a lot of people that we interview actually, are on the rise. At this point, you're still rising. Don't get me wrong, but like, was it taking more time off to spend with your family? Because I mean, you've grinded pretty hard as a doctor for the last 3 years. So, what's next?
Yeah, and this is where the big difference from other even medical field specialties versus somebody who builds their own business is we already plateaued in the ER. Patients come to me. It all depends on just how many shifts you work. I'm pretty happy where I am financially right now. I got my school loans paid off, and that was my number one goal. The rest that I would like to do is take my time and actually develop my hobbies, which is one of the main ones. I really like golf. I'm not good at it, but I'm gonna keep on playing. And spending time with the family, and actually I missed on quite a few big activities with my son growing up over the past 3 years. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to, it's okay for me not to attend every single karate lessons or every single tennis game, but spending a little bit more time with him would be great.
Yeah. And Sasha, ironically, just messaged in and said her and Maximus are watching. So.
Oh, nice.
was-
Hi, Sasha. Hi, Maximus. Hey, guys. Just for our online listeners, hey guys, this is our first time, and we using my phone, and my phone is recording like 5 feet away. So I'm not sure if you can answer all the questions at this moment. How the technicalities working there?
I just finally figured out how to get some stuff on
So
here.
once you figure it out, we might be able to answer some questions. Some of this business is gonna get edited from our regular podcast. But yeah, Sergei had amazing story, and bringing back Sergei's story, we talked about Kirill a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Kirill, another guy from Belarus who Shina was on our podcast. He has a very unconditional love for Taco Bell. And Kirill was the connecting point between me and Sergei. So sometimes it tells you how really small this world is. Me and Sergei from Minsk. It's a very big city. It's 1.7 million.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in completely different parts of town. And when we moved to United States, my friends from Madison and other Belarusians, I'm like, hey, we're going to see this guy in Akanto. He's really cool. And I came in to see all of those guys, and one of the guys was Kirill. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I haven't seen you in 5 years. And that was the guy who Sergei met in Wisconsin Dells. And we all became such a good friends.
Yeah.
A lot of us started in Wisconsin. None of us live in Wisconsin anymore, but we still a good group of friends. So Kirill, check this out. Get some Taco Bell before nuclear holocaust, especially in California.
So, and the funny part was Kirill was like a DJ, and you were really into that, and that's how you met him originally, right?
Yes, he was a DJ in the club, like maybe half mile from my house. So I spent there a few years of my life. We were supposed to get parties in high school, so Kirill was traditional DJ. He was always so energetic. He was a great guy. So me seeing Kirill like 5 years after moving to United States, it was a blast. Kirill's still doing his DJ stuff. Even he's very talented engineer and launching rockets.
Yeah, he works at SpaceX, which is awesome.
At his free time, he will still entertain you like DJ TS. Okay?
And he'll buy you $50 worth of Taco Bell if you can get him to that place at the end of the night. So it's awesome. So all right, so one of the things that I'm always intrigued about, Sergei, with you and being an ER doctor, and I'm not sure how much you can go into like some of these stories. I mean, obviously you can't give out names and things like that, but you know, going from like being in the classroom to going through medical school, what are the stages of that for people who don't really know? Like what goes on from there? And I want to ask you some other questions that relate to the private confidentiality part in a second.
Yeah, and the pathway is not always the most straightforward because
Right.
you need. My original degree in Belarus was biochemistry and biophysics, so that helped me a lot with a lot of prerequisites. I did my undergrad at UW Green Bay, so I was able to transfer some of the credits. There were no direct pre-med program at that time, so I was able just to get some of the classes and then apply to the medical school. The applying process is a little bit different right now, but anyhow, everybody takes the exam, then you go to medical school. And that's where the things have been changing nowadays, because there are 4-year and 3-year medical schools, and they're MD and DO as well. They're all about the same.
Yep.
You do 2 years of the clinicals, and then you do 2 years of the general stuff, and then 2 years of the clinicals. And that's where most of the exposure is happening.
Okay.
And during your clinical time, hopefully you'll make a decision of what you would like to do. I thought for a really long time I'm gonna be interventional radiologist, but then med school happened, clinicals happened, and I changed my mind pretty quickly and said, well, emergency medicine it is.
There you go. Yeah, because you were originally going to go into pediatrics, right?
No, radiology was all the way.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Radiology, interventional radiology, that was kind of the path, but
Gotcha.
that got changed.
So why did you change the ER? Just more fast and furious?
That too, and working with a screen was really problematic. I actually at some point started to wear glasses because my eyes were hurting so much, so I would not be able to manage the screen. Not like I'm not spending any time in front of the screen right now, but
well, I mean, your golf simulator has a screen. So, all right. So then let's go into, obviously, and you took a unique path too, because you got your 4-year, then you took a little bit of a break to save up some money, pay off your student loans, work at Red Lobster.
5 years. It was a 5-year gap in between my undergrad in Belarus to when I went back to school here.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, and one thing that was always great was when Sergei would work at Red Lobster, he would give you a little bit of song, a little bit of dance, a little bit of conversation.
It's all about great service.
Yeah.
So what's the crazy, like I know people are going to ask this question, and you probably get asked this all the time. Like, what's the craziest thing you've seen in ER so far?
That one is
Without getting too graphic.
Yeah.
Or you can, I guess. I mean, that brings viewership up, right?
Your Milwaukee residence, the biker festival.
Yes.
Is that all you can say? It's too much. It's too much.
It will get graphic, but what I would highly advise you, please follow the speed limit and wear all the protective gear, especially helmets for motorcycles.
Yeah, my father-in-law, who's probably going to listen to this because he loves listening to you talk, and you guys love picking on each other all the time, but he rides motorcycles, and he always says, it's not about surviving the crash, it's about keeping your brains intact. So like that's the reason why he wears the helmet. But I would imagine there's some life-saving qualities to a helmet, I would imagine, otherwise there's no point.
It makes a big difference. Just take my take on it is definitely wear a helmet. We can fix a broken bone, we can fix brain.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you actually drink on motorcycle, that I don't think you actually have to brain in the first place, right?
Right.
Kind of.
Right. Yeah. Drive sober, get pulled over, or die. One of the two.
Just think about how it affects your judgment. I mean, that's all it takes is a split second.
Yeah.
I mean, think about when we were younger, and when we drank. I mean, we're still dumb now, but at least we're smarter
I'm
now.
just gonna give a big smile
Yeah.
on that one. Like the things I've done and not gonna.
That's
do anymore.
Yuri's favorite quote. Don't remember, never happened.
Yeah. That's exactly. I only ended up in jail once, and once too many. So I fixed my way. So we drink responsibly now.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, Sergei, what are your hobbies? We know you golf, but outside of golf, what do you like to do?
I don't like doing it, but I do it every day. I work out.
I said hobbies, man. Not a lot of people like to work out. I've grown to actually starting to like it again, but yeah, not everybody likes working out. So that's a routine. That's not a hobby.
Yeah, most of my stuff that I'm doing is a routine.
Yeah.
Golf is my hobby. The rest, I'm kind of trying to see what I would like to do.
Yeah. So you have a structure, a daily structure. What's a daily structure look like? Because that's, I think, big for people too, and it's huge for myself. But what's a daily structure for a doctor?
If I'm not working, the daily structure is pretty straightforward. I usually try to get my elliptical run early in the morning before I have a breakfast, because I notice if I eat later in the day, I just have even less interest of doing it.
Sure.
So if I do it before breakfast, at least I'm interested on finishing it as soon as possible.
It's interesting. Billy talks about that too, is getting a workout in the morning, because by the afternoon he's not gonna. He knows he's not gonna do it, and you've seen that. You've understood that too.
Yeah, and it's the only way. Get the breakfast. Definitely, if my son is around, playing with the boy, we have our routine: cars, toys, golf. We do karate lessons right now, so we have a punching bag right now. So we play ninja. That's how we play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I play Ninja with my kids. I can guarantee you guys that once you're gonna start playing Ninja with your kids, they will wanna play Ninja 3-4 times a day. So, and including 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, Dad, are we ready for Ninja yet?
And unfortunately, the daily routine has changed a lot right now, because we used to do a little bit more, go somewhere. We love going to airplane museum in Oshkosh, but now we can avoid all the places. So we would be probably rolling outside in his bicycle with a safety wheels or whatever they called, and helmet.
Yep. Training wheels, safety wheels, same thing.
Nice, and I think you forgot to mention, because it's still cold outside, you guys do a lot of activities outside by the lake in the summer.
Yeah, once it's gonna get warm, jet ski is gonna go in the water, and that's what we're gonna do.
There
a lot
you go.
of jet skiing.
New hobby.
And once April rolls out, we're probably gonna do a little bit of the fishing.
Yes, and I'll be there, because I don't have anything to do in April.
This year, we'll probably upgrade my son's fishing rod to actually have hooks to his.
So you're gonna fix.
He has a very nice sparkly fish attached, but it does not have any hooks on it.
Yeah.
So the bait is there's no hooks.
Oh, it's going to be a big year for Maximus, that's for sure.
So taking stuff to the next level.
Taking it up the next level. Now you're going to get to be like my dad, where he gets frustrated from cleaning up all the untangled messes and everything when we were younger. You know,
Yeah.
me and my brothers would cast over each other all the time.
And this is where patience makes a huge difference. You have to be patient. You know, there's no screaming, yelling, raising voice. Just be a little bit patient. Try to explain and listen to your child.
Yeah.
Or children.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. Kids are kids. So for those who don't have kids or don't realize it anymore, a lot of people, little people under 5 years old, they don't really have much common sense yet developed. So, like,
you were saying they're not making wise decisions?
well, I'm just saying for your own sake and protecting your own nervous system as a parent, that you have to repeat things anywhere from 10 to 50 times sometimes.
Same day.
Same day. I'm gonna blame the parents on this one. I don't have any kids, so it's easy for me to do that. Parents are dumb. Parents are dumb. It's not the kids, it's the parents.
And I do have another question for you, Sergei. I know you were in medical school, you were in medicine, then you did your residence in Milwaukee, you were in Chicago for a little bit, and then you guys actually moved here in Fox Valley. Are you pretty satisfied with Fox Valley here?
Yes, loving the place. We live in Neenah, a beautiful town. My wife was more interested in bigger cities before we were moving. However, once we did a touring and Dennis, the menace, showed us around and showed us all the areas around, she was much more open to moving, and now she loves the place where we live.
Nice, that's very good. And as I mentioned before, I was from a big city, so I've got a good taste of it. I moved here when I was 21, and sometimes I just want things a little bit easier. Me and Sergei live 45 minutes away. He's in Nina, we in Green Bay, but size of Green Bay is just perfect. You still get all the entertainment. We have phenomenal NFL team. You get all the stores, but what we don't have is traffic jams, parking tickets, problematic parking downtown. So this is why I love Green Bay, and especially with this new highway, when you feel like a king, you the 4-lane highway. So
You're gonna start getting too many people to move here.
And what makes a huge difference is also people that live over here. When we're lacking some entertainment in the city, one of us provides that entertainment themselves.
Or to each other. Yeah, we do have a lot of fun together, so that is one of the really cool things. So, all right, so this is the time of the show where we flip it a little bit, and I gave Sergei a heads up. Sometimes we don't give our guests a heads up, but
I love catching our guests off guard.
I know, it's so fun to see the look on their face where you get to be the interviewer now.
It was not enough heads up.
Yeah, you're all right. So, 2 questions. You get to ask either one of us 2 questions as to anything other than how we met, because we've covered that like 30 times now, and we even covered it today.
So why did you guys start this podcast?
And that one too. No, that's okay. This is our first live episode on Facebook Live, so we have a lot of new viewers anyway. So you want to take it this time?
Yeah.
You can start, and I'll fill
Let's
fill
do
it
this.
together.
So it all started as we were developing the marketing plan for Monty's real estate business. And a lot of people just care about themselves. And as you go, I say it all the time, you go on social media, it's all about me. So with our marketing plan, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to give it back to you guys.
Right.
We wanted to do something not like nobody has, but we wanted to do something special. So we sat down at first, and podcast idea was phenomenal, and our first idea was to do Monty and Friends, but then
which I still get to do.
you still get to do, but at the end of the day, we both thought that Monty and Friends was only beneficial basically to
Right.
Monty and Friends. It was given much back to you, so we switched our gears.
Yeah.
We did a little brainstorm, and there you go. Here's a Tech Action podcast where we actually hear for you guys, for our listeners, for our fans, and we just hit 2,000 downloads yesterday.
Yep.
And it's amazing how it works, because as of January, we only had 1,000 downloads.
January 23rd is when we hit.
It was 1,000 downloads. So from September of 2019 to January 23rd, it was 1,000 downloads, and we hit another 1,000 in just 2 months.
Yeah, and that doesn't even include the people on YouTube that have seen like some of the episodes there. Our Facebook episodes now, which won't count with those numbers either. So it's been a ton of fun to watch it grow. And again, I didn't want it to be about me. Like, that was one of the things, is like, yeah, I'm here, I'm asking questions, but I want to be able to give different perspectives and different ways to motivate people to do what they want to do. And, that's been my job for 10 years, and, motivating student athletes on how to go to college and those sort of things. And I think the things that we train kids on what to do can apply to every single person. So see a lot of people in a rut. I was in a rut, up until a couple of years ago, and you still get into them. I mean, that's going to happen, and you just want to, people always say, I wish, and I didn't want there to be, I want, not as many people out there to have regrets about their lives. We only get one, and so when you talk to old people, or even people our age now, it's like, oh, I wish I would have did that 5-10 years ago, or I wish I would have did that, I wish I would. And you hear the I wish, and those are regrets, and then people dwell on those regrets for a long time. And hopefully whatever verbiage comes out of our mouths here today, to see, 2 guys, that were able to come from a foreign country, a dictatorship, and make a life for themselves here. And then, for me just to do what I do on a daily basis and get out and have fun and, be that person. It's like, I want other people to see, like, it is possible. You don't have to be stuck in whatever situation you're in. Go out and do it. Take action. That's the reason why we set up that's why we call it Take Action, was you can do whatever you want within reasonability. I mean, I can't go and be an NFL football player. I was okay, but I was never going to get there,
But it's all about
not talented enough to get to that level. So reality is, taking action on something that you can potentially do. A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to," and I've been saying this for a long time too. I want to play guitar. I want to play keyboard. I want to do some musical instrument, and I will. That's coming. I'll have a little bit more free time, beginning April 1st, as we talked about last week. And then, just building a business, having that, being able to be an entrepreneur at this point, and not really knowing where we're going, I think is fun. Like, Yuri and I are having fun with this. Yuri's been great on the real estate side, so we're just having fun, growing the process, growing our business right now and we don't know where it's going. We have a vision for it. We don't know where it's going, and that's okay. And like Yuri said all the time, it's okay to suck as long as you're trying. So I guess it's a long answer and kind of the philosophy behind it, but that's the reason why we started the podcast, was to hopefully motivate people to take action.
All right.
No, he's got another question. That was long.
Trying to get out.
Yeah, Yuri's trying to leave right away.
Oh man.
So that was one that hopefully people get something out of that.
When are you gonna invite Dennis?
Well, we're gonna do a Friends episode. You're gonna be back on again, and we're just gonna clown.
A big group.
Yeah, we're gonna do a bigger group podcast at
Kind
some
of like
point.
European.
Yeah, European, because we're gonna bring Edo and Richard on, and we'll have to censor Richard maybe.
European.
Yeah, we'll get Dennis on the podcast eventually. Dennis, I really hope you listen to this. Sometimes Dennis needs to be invited on the podcast to take action on how not to take action.
Yeah.
But that will be saved for another episode.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we will get our European group one of these days, and I think we should do another live one. Everybody have a wonderful story.
Yeah, no doubt. With all the guys that have come from different countries and why they've come here, I think it'll be cool to do that. I'll be really in the minority. I'm already in the minority on this one, so it'll be great. So yeah, but I'm excited about that one, and that's in the works. Next week we're gonna the plan is to actually have kids on. So
Ooh, the KidCast.
the kid podcast. Got to be careful on how we say anything else there, but I'm excited about that one because kids, we have no idea how those questions are going to be answered. So it should be fun. It should be cute. Kids will have fun with that one. So we're going to wrap up, guys. I think we've covered a ton today. Sergei, thanks so much for coming on. Any last advice about Corona or life, or have a Corona and enjoy your life?
Just use common sense.
Cool. Great advice. All right, Yuri, where can people find us? Besides on Facebook Live right now.
Well, of course, Facebook Live. That's a spot to be right now, guys. Other than that, we are on Instagram at Take Action Podcast MY. We are on at Twitter, Take Action Pod MY.
Mm-hmm.
We have professional page on LinkedIn. We're gonna be rolling out more videos, guys, so you can always find us on YouTube at Take Action Podcast with Monty and yours. So feel free to subscribe to our channel. I'm gonna try to post this live video on YouTube as well. In the meantime, if you wanna listen to any of our podcasts, you know where to go. The Captivate is my favorite player. Then we have Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We literally, I just checked the other day, we are on 10-15 different podcast services. Awesome. And remember that magic window I'm talking about all the time? Google, yeah. You type in on Google and just type it in.
Or Google for you English speaking folks.
Type in Take Action Podcast with Monty and Yura, and we are pretty unique names, so you'll find our search results right away. You don't have to go too far. I do want to say a few things personal about this coronavirus business. I want everyone to stay responsible, guys. If you know you're not feeling well, stay home. Don't go making out with people. Don't run around. Don't go to the hospital. Hospitals, besides people freaking out, they still have to perform their traditional duties. People still breaking hands. People still have heart attacks. We still have babies. As Sergei told us before the show, eating toilet paper do not cure coronavirus. And for those, I specifically want to pay attention to people in grocery stores. This is not nuclear fallout. Please do not buy $1,000 worth of groceries to the point when you clear off the shelves, and then people who actually need stuff to eat at a normal base. So just be considerate to other people. This is a hard time, so we have to take it as a community. As besides Sergei and Dr. Rai was listening on Privea, it's all about flattening out the curve, right?
That's correct.
So we all gonna get it probably sooner or later. Nobody have immunity for coronavirus, but let's not all get it at the same time. We all get it at the same time. Our life already stopped. It's gonna be even worse. So take precautions and be nice and don't be an asshole.
Yeah, and you know the funny part is too. Speaking of the being an asshole part, I went to about, Shannon and I were down to 2 rolls of toilet paper in the house. So we legitimately need toilet paper. And so Sunday night we went shopping. We went to like 4 different stores. Not a roll of toilet paper anywhere around. No bread, no chicken. But the thing I thought was hilarious was the actual like food that boosts your antioxidants. All the fruit, nothing touched, perfectly right. All the oranges, all the strawberries, all that stuff was there. I was like, wait a minute, isn't there like, and I'm not a nutritionist, but like vitamin C and a lot of these antioxidants and all these things that boost your immune system, and everybody's grabbing bread and chicken and toilet paper. Like, I'm like, well, I guess we're gonna load up on some fruit for a while and eat that. So, but I did find toilet paper yesterday, by the way, at Quick Trip.
Okay.
So thank you, Quick Trip, for restocking your. And I only took 1 pack of 4, by the way. I didn't raid the place. They were going to charge. The one guy at the cash register said that roll of toilet paper was $1,100 though. So I talked him down to 4.
Oh, cool. I'm looking for a new house. I have a 12 pack, so it's probably going to be my down payment.
Yeah. So very good, guys. Well, thanks again for listening. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. Go out there, be responsible, have fun. Don't change too much in your life. Spend time with your families. Learn something new. Take advantage of this time where we are quarantined to our houses or our yards or whatever, and pick up a book. Learn a new skill, learn a foreign language, pick up an instrument. Just try something different now instead of just binge watching on Netflix, which I am going to do, by the way. But, substitute that. Like Yuri always says, retrain your brain.
Yeah.
And, so we'll catch you guys later. Thanks again for listening. Thanks, Dr. Sergei, for coming on. And boom.
And Shakira. Boom! Alrighty, guys. Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna shut this down.
You didn't stop recording yet.
I know, right?